Hello and welcome to the Blackout Bushcraft channel. This afternoon I got off work a little bit late and I made the last minute decision that I'm going to come out to the woods and go camping tonight. And I rushed home and I packed up a bag with everything I thought I might need, and I kind of rushed out here to the woods. And I'm on private property. This is our family's land, so it's a pretty easy access camp for me, maybe 10 to 15 minutes walk in. And it's actually about 2 hours or less now to sundown, so I don't have a whole lot of time to do a lot of stuff. I want to set up a tarp and hammock. I want to do some good camp cooking, so I got to get a fire going, and I also got to gather firewood. Not a lot of time left. I tell you what, I'll set up the tarp and hammock and you guys collect the firewood. Sounds like a good deal? No? I better get started then. See you soon. So the first thing I got to do is get my pack up off the ground. So I'm going to use a simple piece of bank line. It has a bowline loop on the end of it, and then of course the famous Marlin spike hitch here. I can just insert a toggle. And with this backpack that I'm using, it's an old Boy Scout pack made by Kelty. It doesn't have a grab loop or a place that I can hang it from, so I have to use the straps. Very good. I got my gear up off the ground and I can access my pack a lot more conveniently. So in my opinion, one of the most underrated packs for bushcrafting is an old Scout pack like this with the aluminum cruiser type frame. You can normally get these things fairly cheap if you find one at a flea market, eBay, places like that. And they're excellent packs. They hold a lot of gear and they give you a lot of flexibility with this aluminum frame. Right here I've got my underquilt, I've got my pillow. I could attach more gear on this frame if I wanted to, and I just attached it with a leather child's belt that I bought at Walmart for a few bucks, and it's nice and secure. There's a lot of attachment points on this pack where I could put other things. You can see I've got my gloves clamped to the frame right here, and it's just a great pack. My 32-ounce water bottle and cup and lid and bottle hanger are all right here in this one zipper pocket. So it's just a perfect bushcrafting pack, really. It's not glamorous like some of the more expensive packs that we like to use, but it works and it does the job well. So I've got my Hidden Woodsman coffee bag, which is my Hidden Woodsman stake bag. I keep my stakes and guy lines and ridge lines and all that type of gear in here. So everything that I need to set up a shelter is always right here in this bag. Stakes, toggles, everything. I like having that. Not everybody probably has a stake bag, but it's perfect. Any shelter I want to construct, be it more modern shelters or whether I'm making oilcloth tarp setups or whatever, everything I need is right here in this bag. So first step is to get my ridge line set up. And just going to use a bowline knot with that. Toggled off. I'm going to run it down to the other end where I'm going to do a trucker's hitch. Probably have to adjust this grapevine right here a little bit. And that's all right. Looks good. I think that'll work out nice. So the tarp that I'll be using over my hammock is a DD Superlight 10x10, and of all the tarps that I've used and the ones that I own, this is my favorite to use when I'm hammock camping. It's a great tarp, lightweight. I just have it packed in a waterproof bag here, so if it's a lot of dew in the morning on the tarp, or if the tarp gets wet from rain, when I have to pack up, I can just stuff it in here, put it in my pack, and not worry about it wetting other gear in the bag. Of all the stakes that I own and have used, my favorite are the MSR groundhogs. They just seem to work well in the soft soil in my area, and I just keep all of my stakes latched together with the little clip. It makes them easy to pull out of the pack and go set up. When I pull out these guy lines, I always pull out diagonally. So I'll do the front left corner and then I'll do the right back corner. Just have these set up with kind of a quick release, or what's supposed to be quick release. There we go. You just pull it out a little bit loose. I'll have to come back and adjust it, and I'll go to the opposite corner. All right, so actually a last minute little opportunity is I just attached another piece of paracord for my stake bag with the last toggle. And I think what I'm gonna do is just bring this loop from my tarp over here. Give myself a little slack. I'm just gonna hook that loop onto this toggle. Just like that. Now it lifts up one corner of my tarp. I'll give you a good look. There you go. So now you can see how that turned out. I always like having just a little bit of an overhang with my tarp instead of just a complete A, unless the weather's going to be bad. Then I like that A shape or even a plow point or a diamond shape. But I kind of like having this overhang. Just gives me a little place to kind of stage things as I'm working around my camp. So I think this is going to work perfect for tonight. And I'll once again be using my Ticket to the Moon hammock tonight. I really like this one. I've been using it for a while. And inside here I have the Eno lightweight hammock suspension system. The Helios, I believe it's called. So I'm going to get that set up. Now I can cinch that thing up until it's comfortable. It's about right there. We'll check it out. All right, so let's give it a test. See if this will be comfortable. Not bad. Not bad at all. Might stretch a little bit. May need to tighten it up, but I'll worry about that later. Need to start working on firewood, which was your responsibility. So what I got right here is awesome. This is a big piece of tulip poplar. And this stuff is damp. So look at that. Wow. Whoa. Look at that. Man, that is some nice stuff right there. That's 20 feet long. That's cordage stuff right there. I may have to make some cordage by the fire tonight. That is some nice stuff. So no doubt I have a tinder bundle. And I have a resupply for my my waterproof tinder bag because last time I was out I used all my tinder. So I'm going to make use of this stuff, and if I were doing bow drills tonight, which I'm not, this would be my material. So it's kind of hard to tell, but I have a suspicion that this stump right here may have some fat wood in it. So I'm going to make a cut here. And before I waste any more energy, there's no doubt there's some sweet stuff in there. Oh yeah. That's the stuff right there. This will be nice to process down. Give me some nice clean pieces, even some that I can use to keep in my pack for emergencies. With the combination of all this stuff, I shouldn't have any problem with ignition. And most likely I'm going to go with this fat wood for my ignition source. I should be able to get a fire started with just that. This stuff's still kind of wet. And by the time I process it down and dry it out and stuff, I can just use fat wood. Well, it's starting to get dark on me. What I'm going to do right now is make a little bit of a fire reflector. And it's not really necessary, but it's just kind of comforting. It's kind of nice to have that. Just gives you a sense of establishment in your camp. There we go. This isn't going to be a very tall reflector at all, but it'll serve the purpose of just giving me, again, a little establishment in my camp. Make a couple of jam loops, and we'll be good. Well, I'm losing the last bit of daylight. It's kind of a survival sin, so to speak, that I don't have fire yet, but I'm not too worried about it. With those resources I found, it should be good. But it's time to get on it, so let's do it. All right, so I've been doing a lot of work. I've got some wood bucked up. I've got a big pile of smalls. So it's time to process the fat wood and get a fire. Another nice piece. That's really pretty stuff right there. Very pretty. All right, fat wood's ready to go. So you may hear some highway noise in the background during this video. And that's because there's a major interstate highway that's pretty close, and there's another pretty prominent highway close by as well. There's, unfortunately, in my area, nowhere you can really go and completely escape that kind of sound. There's just no vast wilderness in this area. However, sometimes people think that you have to go a long ways away to practice skills. It doesn't really matter if you're 10 miles or 100 meters in the woods. If you're in the woods and you're practicing your skills, and you're learning to use natural resources, it doesn't really matter. In your mind, you could be way out, because it's the same resources way out as it is, like I said, 100 meters in the woods. So if you practice your skills and you gain the knowledge, then regardless of where you are, you'll be able to perform what you need to do. I think that'll work. All right, so I have a small ferro rod here I'm going to use. This thing works real good. It's not as good, obviously, as one of the great big ferro rods that I like to use. However, it does the job. I have a feeling that's going to take off pretty quick there. And it already feels a lot happier in my camp now that I have a fire. Help light things up. It's just something magical about having a fire. It's the whole joy of being out here at night. All right, well, I'm gonna work on building that fire on up, and I'll see you guys soon. So while the fire's building up a nice coal bed for cooking dinner, I'm gonna go ahead and get my sleep gear set up. Got my underquilt here. Get all that stuff in place, so when it's time to go to bed, I'll be ready for it. I can tell it's cooling off really fast. There's a low of 25 tonight, and I can tell it's dropping real quick. Gets my underquilt in place there. It's gonna be nice and cozy. So right now the camera's positioned underneath of that raised corner on my tarp. You can see the tarp up here. And so when I lay in my hammock and look out to my left side, what I see is the fire right there. So it's really nice the way all this is set up. Came together nicely. All right, so I'm about ready to start cooking. And what I'm gonna be cooking tonight is this pack of venison sausage, or deer sausage. A friend of mine named David shot the deer and actually had the sausage processed and gave me a couple of packs. And so David, I really appreciate this. If you're watching, I'm looking forward to tasting this sausage tonight. And to go with the sausage, I actually have some bell pepper, And I also have some onion. And I actually have a green pepper too, but I don't know if I need all of those peppers. So I have some good food with me to cook up. And to process this sausage, I've got my Pathfinder bush pot right here. And I actually have the new Pathfinder cutting board. I believe this was made by Kevin Baxter, camp master at the Pathfinder school. He does laser engraving, but it's really cool. This thing's perfectly fit to go inside the Pathfinder bush pot. And actually, it fits perfect right on the lid, and that gives me a place where I can process down my sausage and my vegetables. So I'm gonna process down this pepper and get started on cooking. I've got my Pathfinder folding stainless skillet that I'm gonna be cooking in. I've only used this thing a couple of times actually. And since I've been using my belt knife for wood processing and stuff like that, I'm going to use my Swiss Army knife for processing the food. This pepper already smells good. And actually, that pepper smells so good. Orange pepper's nice and sweet. To be honest, I think that's enough pepper. I don't even think I need to process the green one. Alright, I'm going to cut this onion up a little bit. This is a sweet VIDDA onion. This onion even smells good out here. You get by the fire, everything starts smelling good. Especially after you've been working, processing firewood and stuff like that. Alright, that looks pretty good. Alright, it's time to open up the sausage. I definitely can't eat all this sausage. As I mentioned, it's probably going to get down to about 24 tonight. So I think I'll be okay with it not being in a cooler or anything. High today was 45. I got out late, so the high was already passed. So I think it'll be okay. Looks like plenty of sausage for me. That looks good. What I'm going to do is just cut that right in half. That ought to be about perfect. Put that right on into the skillet with the peppers and onions. I like the peppers and onions to be cooked down really good. So that's why I'm putting it all in here at the same time. All right, that's going to be a meal fit for a king right there. What I need to do is get my coal bed set up here. I want to maintain my fire while I'm cooking. And there we go. We're officially cooking. So it's going to take a little while with that being sausage. There's some pork in there. I want to make sure that stuff's cooked through good, but I'm looking forward to this meal. Alright, so I'm starting to hear a little sizzle. Oh yeah, that smells so good. I'm going to have a little bit of a time cleaning this pan probably. All right, that stuff looks done. I about believe that's ready. That stuff's done. I'm gonna take this off the fire, let it cool down. It's gonna be time to eat. I don't know what y'all think, but man, that looks right good to me. That looks real good. All right, well, looks to me like it's time to eat. So, got to say grace. Amen. Well, this is a fine looking meal in my opinion for some camp cooking. I'm pretty excited to try out my friend's deer sausage. I love venison. To me, it's one of the best meats that you can eat. I know you guys expect me to say it's good, but it's really good. It's really good. Those sweet orange peppers, man, those things are awesome. That sweet onion, that spice and sage in the sausage, that's something else. Thanks again, David, for the sausage, because I'm really enjoying it. You know, for me, one of the most enjoyable parts of being out here is cooking up a hot meal on the fire and just sitting by the fire, just making yourself comfortable out here in nature. You know, it seems to me like your senses are kind of heightened when you're in the woods like this. You know, I'm always more aware of the sounds in the background, things going on around me, animal movements and such as that. I guess that's just natural when you're out here by yourself in the woods at night. You're going to pay attention to what's going on around you. And I think even, you know, your sight and your smell, you're a little bit more aware of what's going on. And as such, I feel like your sense of taste is also a little more heightened. And it seems like food is just better when you're out in the woods. When you cook it on the fire, I don't know, maybe it's a mental thing, but it just always seems better. But yeah, this is, to me, it's just one of the best parts of being out here. And I can tell I'm not going to be able to eat all of this in one sitting because it's already starting to be a little filling. But it's really good. I know I said that, but man, I love venison. It's such a good meat, and it's a healthy meat too. Well, I'm going to finish up my dinner. I don't want to tease you guys any more than I already did. I'll talk to you again after dinner. All right, so I just had to regroup after eating dinner, got my fire reestablished, and changed out my hat for something that can help keep my ears a little more warm. It's supposed to be like 24, 25 degrees out here tonight, and I can tell that temperature is really dropping fast. So I've also added my shamandana here as my scarf. And it's a great piece of kit. I use this for all kinds of stuff. From J. Hercules opossum pouch, opossum goods. It's an awesome, awesome craftsman. So anytime I'm sitting by the fire, one of my top priorities is to have some type of a warm beverage. And most of the times that's going to be coffee. However, today I'm going to break the mold. And I brought something with me. It's one of my favorites. My favorite drinks to have by the fire. And sometimes in the mornings and in the evenings. This is my substitute for coffee sometimes, and it's lavender milk tea. Some of you guys will probably hate this stuff, but for some reason I love it. Lavender milk tea. It's an Asian brand, but this is really good stuff. So what I'm going to do is get some water on the boil here, and I'm just going to use my little Pathfinder cup. So anyway, to do this, I'm just going to stick it in the fire. So once the water heats up, then I will make some lavender milk tea. That'll be nice. And also, lavender is supposed to be one of those herbs that's kind of relaxing. So from what I understand, makes you sleep a little better. So hopefully that'll help me get a good night's sleep out here. All right, so I think my water's ready. And this is my favorite thing about this little Pathfinder cup, is the fact that they put these holes here so that you can insert that fish mouth spreader. It makes it so much easier to do things like this with that feature. It's just well thought out. Go ahead and take that fish mouth spreader out so it doesn't get too hot. And have my little spoon here. If you like the taste of lavender, this stuff is something else. It's got a creamy taste to it. It's just good stuff. Stuff is just really pleasant to drink. It's kind of soothing. I guess that's the effect of the lavender. Really nice stuff. Well guys, it's starting to get a little cold outside. I've had my dinner. I've had lavender tea, a cup of coffee. Got the fire stoked up over there, and I think I'm going to get up in my sleeping bag, get warm, try to get some sleep. I've got my -33 base layer in here I've got to change into, and I'm just trying to settle in for the night. So I'll talk with you guys probably again first thing in the morning, and we'll wrap everything up, get packed up. Tomorrow's Sunday, so church day. I have to get home early. All right, I'll see you guys soon. So this will be my last view of the fire for the night. I'm up under my tarp in my hammock, and you can see what that looks like. It's nice having that corner raised up so I can have a view of the fire. Well, this will definitely be my last clip for the night. I'm going to take the battery out of my camera, put it in my bag with me, try to keep it warm so hopefully it won't go dead, because a lot of times when I film in the cold overnight like this, my batteries suffer bad. So anyhow, I will see you guys very soon once the sun comes up. Good night. Good morning. It's cold. It's 6:30 on the dot. It was a really nice night last night. It was very clear and cold. And for that reason, I guess a lot of the little critters that normally are moving around weren't moving so much. And it was just very peaceful. I never heard anything moving last night other than that initial deer that came through the camp before I went to bed. But after I went to bed, nothing. It was just really peaceful out here. And I slept good. I woke up a few times, once a little chilly, but not too bad. And I guess it's time to get up and get moving. Early bird gets the worm, right? Get dressed. Think about coffee. Time to do it. Everything's pretty wet out here. This is not ideal, but it's improvising. There we go. just about say I had to work for this. See all that smoke? It's definitely marginal material, but it'll burn. Just give it a minute, it'll burn. Now we're getting somewhere. So yesterday's fire gave me today's fire. Took a little extra work, but I got plenty of hot air to blow on it. Coldest thing on me right now is my hands. A cold nose, cold hands. Everything else feels good. Morning fire is always welcome. So I've got to tell you guys that the MVP of my gear for this trip has been this little mossy oak hunting seat pad. I picked it up at the local Walmart for $1.50 on sale at the end of hunting season. And this thing has just been really helpful. It's been my seat cushion down on the ground. I just had a couple pieces of wood and I put this on top of it to cushion me. You can see what it kept me from getting on me. So the ground's been really wet from the snow that melted yesterday. And it gave me a welcome mat getting in and out of my hammock. So once I took my boots off, it gave me a dry place to stand to climb into my hammock. And when I got out, it gave me a place to get out and then get dressed and put my boots on. So this has been a really neat piece of gear. I just wedged it on the back wall of my pack between my back and the pack itself and gave a little extra cushion. So a really cool little item for not much money. It's been very multifunctional for me on this trip. So I heated back up the deer sausage from last night. I made a good dinner. Leftovers make a good breakfast too. Made a bit of a mess out of that skillet though. Filled it up with water and put it on the coals. Hopefully it'll soften up some of that burned stuff in there. Sausage is good. This is Javalia coffee. This stuff's clearing up pretty good. Just add a little bit of water and boil it, and that burn stuff starts to come off pretty easy. That coffee was rolling around pretty good in there. That's a welcome sight. And that is worth waking up to right there. Cheers. All right, I got the morning coffee. Perfect. Got a nice warm fire here behind me. I'm burning up the very last of my firewood that I collected yesterday evening. I didn't get a chance to collect as much as I normally like to, but I got here late in the afternoon, as you saw, a little after 3 o'clock probably. So I only had a few hours of daylight at best. I had to do some of my chores after dark, which is not ideal, but it was good practice for me. Had to be a little more safety conscious, make sure I didn't step in any holes, trip, just had to, take my time, pay attention. And so I think that was a good practice session for me. I'm not even out here for 24 hours on this trip. I got here late yesterday and I'm leaving in the morning. After this fire's out real good, I'll go ahead and pack up and head back home. But this was a great opportunity for me. When I had that opportunity, I grabbed it, got out here, and a chance to practice with my gear, to test my gear further, become more familiar with it, to test my skills, getting the fire going in low light conditions. With a ferro rod, that is literally the only thing I brought with me. I was confident. I always can find fat wood out in this area here. We have abundance of it, and with fat wood and a ferro rod, I can get a fire going. I feel confident about that. So I guess the main thing is just when the opportunity arises, get out, use your gear, test it, get it dirty, practice those basic skills, and just become comfortable in the woods. I think that's really the key. The more times that I come out here like this and camp, solo camp like this, is just the more comfortable I feel and the more self-reliant I feel, which is good. I think a huge element in becoming successful in any endeavor that you pursue is to develop confidence. You know, coming out here in the woods like this, the more times you do it, the more confident you get. The more confident you get, the better you get at that you do, whether it be bushcraft in this case, or whether it be sports or business or whatever it is that you do. So the key is to do it and to the point that you become confident. And once you become confident, then you really start to become the best that you can be. So I think confidence is huge. And coming out here and camping by yourself multiple times like this, it does, you start to feel confident out in the woods. You feel comfortable. And that's, I think that's huge. I think that really does help you succeed and do better when you're out here. So anyway, rather than me sitting here and rambling on and on, I'm going to finish up my coffee, probably have another cup of coffee, let the rest of this wood kind of burn down, and pack up. I want to thank you guys for taking the time to tune in. Maybe you see me out here doing this and you say, hey, I want to get out there. Maybe you haven't been camping in years. Maybe you've never been camping. Be inspired. Get out here. Do this. It's so much fun. It's just a chance to recharge, reconnect with nature, breathe the fresh air, enjoy good food, smell of smoke, just a peace that is in the woods. It truly is a peaceful place to me. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I appreciate you tuning in. There'll be more videos to come very soon. If you haven't subscribed, I hope you'll subscribe. Lots of links down below in the description box. Please check those things out if you have interest. And I look forward to talking to you with the next video very soon. So until the next one, you guys be well, take care, God bless. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see similar content, please subscribe to the Black Hat Bushcraft channel. Thank you for your time and interest, and I hope you'll come back soon. Take care.